Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Hot Topics Live podcast. I'm Kia. I am a performance coach. I have coached thousands of people for quite a few years now, and it's what I love to do. And I do this podcast because I believe that we are each unique, beautiful, and amazing, and we deserve to be living our best life possible. That's what Hot Topics Live podcast is about. And I aim to bring people, typically, who are coaches, podcast hosts, and entrepreneurs to talk to you and share their experiences to help you become unstuck or just add to your journey, make it a little easier, give you some perspective or different thoughts or ideas or tips, tricks, and strategies to help you be successful and have a fulfilling life and live your best life. So, if that sounds good, let's jump into today. Today's little special series that I'm doing is about dating after divorce. And I have done 5 episodes so far. So, if you haven't seen them, you will have to go back and check them out and see what they're all about. I started with why I'm doing this, and then I moved into different episodes about things that can help you get better at this online dating thing after a divorce. So, including some of my nightmares that I experienced and I had to go through so that hopefully you don't have to. Um, but honestly, this is a passion project for me because I'm in it. Like I was in a long-term relationship, a marriage, my with my kid's father, and we split up. And then I took 5 years to be single and to heal and just do whatever I wanted to do. Because, as you know, when you're in a partnership, especially long term, you make a lot of compromises. And sometimes you can compromise yourself, and sometimes you can lose yourself in that relationship. And unfortunately, that's what I did. Everything came before me. So I took 5 years to, kind of come back to myself and heal and learn. And so this series that I'm doing is really about helping people who are probably, if I had to guess, they're probably younger millennials or older millennials or younger Gen X people, because they would have been in a relationship for maybe 8 to 10 or more years, maybe 20. And you've split up and you've been taking some time to heal and you're trying to figure out, well, what is next for me? What is the dating landscape going to look like for me now that I am getting back into it? And it's been like 20 years. Can you imagine that? Right? 20 years with the same person, then you split up, and now you've got to figure your life out as far as, are you going to be single for the rest of your life, or are you going to attempt to get out there and meet someone new? And I don't remember this statistic, but there is a large percentage of people who remarry after divorce. So it's not impossible for you. You know, you can find love again. I had a comment on one of my videos, and it was so sad because this person, I don't know if it was a man or a female, but he said gold digger. So I'm going to say he, right? Because maybe, I don't know, men can be gold diggers. So, anyways, we'll say this person said that they had an experience with gold diggers and that everyone was gold diggers and they weren't going to date anymore. They were going to just remain single. And it made me really sad because, everyone deserves loves. We're creatures that come together to be together, right? We want to be close. We crave connection and intimacy. It's part of who we are, you know. And psychologically too, you can look this up. As we get older, we want to be in a union, and when you are not in a union, it gives you a lot of mental and emotional turmoil. If you have never been in one, the older you get is what my point. But we crave that. So I hope that you won't give up. And I'm hoping that this episode and any of these episodes will not make you afraid to get back out there. But it promotes that desire to get back out there and try again, because I can tell you for sure that not everybody's a gold digger, because I'm not one. And no tea, no shade on anyone who's about that life. It's just that there are some of us that aren't. Do I, like stable, financially secure men? Yes. Do I want them only for their money? And that's what my definition of a gold digger is. Someone who only wants a man for his money. Do I like gifts and nice things? Yes. Do I like having my bills paid? Yes. But I can also do all of that for myself. But if there is someone who wants to do that for me, I'm going to allow it. But believe me, I'm going to be giving back in other ways. So it's always an energy exchange. So not everyone is a gold digger, right? Maybe you might be dating out of your league. Do you ever think of that? Like maybe you're trying to get with women who are used to a certain quality of life that you can't provide. And that doesn't make them a gold digger. That just means you should look for someone that is, wanting to grow with you at whatever level you're at in life. I don't know how else to say that, but facts. Sorry. Anyway, so some of us would not want to be gold diggers because there's certain sacrifices you have to make for that lifestyle. And me personally, and I know a lot of other women who feel the same way, is we want a man's presence. That's more important than money. So if you don't believe it exists, I'm telling you, women are out here that crave a man's presence over his. Maybe we can provide for ourselves and want to provide for ourselves, don't mind doing it. I mean, granted, we don't, if it's whatever you want, okay, no judgment, but I can provide for myself. If you want to provide for me, and I will allow that, um but what's more, if I had to choose, is my point. I would choose someone's presence, someone that keeps me emotionally safe, someone that is consistent, right? So that is a message just for the person who commented about the gold digger situation. And I know that's a common topic. Like men are so afraid of gold diggers, but maybe it's just that's not the girl for you. Maybe try someone else, you know? Um, so anyway, you can't judge every single woman by a few, you know? It's just not realistic. Anyway, moving on, I want to hit some topics, right? And I want to talk about what to avoid. So if you've made it this far, you better stay till the end because I'm going to tell you. Um, and let's talk about online dating, right? Because as you're moving away from your last relationship, you need to go through a process of healing. And in order to heal, you need to look at, you might want to write this down, by the way, because like I said, I am a coach. I cannot help but coach. Okay. And I've done a lot of this work myself. So I'm not just saying pulling stuff out of the air or just whatever. It's stuff that I've done that's worked for me and that other people have done that's worked for them. And so I'm going to share it with you. Okay. So you may want to write this down. But you need to do the work, and it begins with looking at your core wounds. And those are the wounds that you got from being a small child. Okay. Sometimes just being a baby or being in your mother's womb, you can have traumas. And so these are the things that you want to investigate within yourself. Are you afraid of abandonment, rejection? Were you neglected a lot as a child? These will present themselves in different types of insecurities and attachment styles and core wounds. And so you might want to go to therapy, right? You might want to spend some time with a therapist. If you don't find one that you like on the first couple tries, keep trying till you find one that you mesh with, right? And do some therapy. Talk therapy is really good. It's really important. Keep a journal. Journal your feelings out, you know? And one of the biggest things, because I've been married twice, okay? One of the biggest takeaways I have had from those experiences is not just blaming the partner, It's also looking at what you contributed to the demise of that relationship, right? And learning everything you can about emotional intelligence. And if you're a man, understanding what women need just in general, because it is specific to each woman, but also it can be very general what women need. For example, safety. Women crave safety, emotional and physical and financial safety. Like, we want to be safe and we want to be able to communicate with you and share our thoughts and feelings without you necessarily having to solve the problem, though you'll want to. And it's one way we know you care if you're trying to solve our problems, right? But that safety, clarity, transparency, consistency. If you don't want to keep a woman, don't provide, don't provide her that stuff. That's the fastest way to lose your girl, okay? Is by not providing that. Don't talk to her. Don't be affectionate with her. Is she always approaching you for intimacy outside of the bedroom? You know, if that's the case, then, you know, you're going to lose that woman eventually, and intimacy for a woman starts before the bedroom. So it starts with you getting her a cup of coffee or doing the dishes or, doing tasks around the house and helping with the kids and being a teammate, you know. I think that's a big problem in relationships, by the way, is that we're not a team. There's these societal norms, these gender norms, and we have to like partner. We have to become a team and play to each other's strengths and weaknesses and help each other out. And we make sacrifices for each other, you know? And if you make sacrifices for your woman, she will be happier in the connection. Not that she should be happy anyway within her own self. And if she's not, maybe she was like me, maybe she lost herself in that relationship. But ladies, men need appreciation. They need intimacy too. Um, they need nurturing support. I'm raising boys, so I know a lot about raising young, healthy, emotionally intelligent men. And it's really important that you go into your relationships with a supportive, nurturing, and appreciative way of being. Um, but I understand that oftentimes we can't be like that because we don't feel safe. And so um, these are some things that can cause relationships to fall apart. And you need to look at what it was you were or weren't doing. Did that man feel unappreciated? Were you ever grateful for anything he did do? Were you complaining all the time? Yeah, either way, the point is not to point fingers. The point is to just own and be self-aware of what you did to cause the relationship to fail. So, how this relates to this topic is you have to heal that stuff. You have to go through the process of healing, because one of the things that you should avoid when you start dating again is people that are unhealed. And I will tell you something. I have talked to a lot of men online in the last couple of years, especially recently. And I have found something, and I can't really speak to women because I don't date women. So, but I'm sure there's probably a lot the same, because there's just a lot of people around here that are super unhealed, that are just unaware of what their own wounds are. And hurt people hurt people. So there are people who are out there that should not be out there. They're not ready to be dating. They're not ready to have someone for real in their life. There's people out there that just want to use people for sexual gratification. I'm not judging you, but a lot of times you don't connect with each other is the problem. Right? It'd be easy if you just connected with each other, but you don't. So oftentimes you will bring people who are looking for deep connection and commitment, and you will approach them and they will engage and they will um, fall for um, a scenario that is not really what they were looking for or wanted. And then they're now hurt. So you have to go into dating with a lot of discernment, and um, you have to be aware of the pitfalls that exist for you. So once you're working on yourself, and I said that whole tangent about healing and what to do and everything like that, because the more we heal ourselves and the more people are aware of this, then the people that are out there trying to date will be more healed, and then you'll have better options of people to choose from and people who are on your same level, because sometimes it takes a while. You got to, like I said, it's the law of averages. You got to talk to a lot of people, and you have to have um trust your gut, and you have to have some practices in place to keep you safe emotionally and mentally and physically. So that's I think the most important critical thing is just knowing that there are so many unhealed people out there, so many people that are um damaged and broken, just point blank. And so you have to navigate that very, very carefully. You have to trust your gut. You have to put boundaries in place. You have to be always willing to walk away, like I said last week, because in episode 5, because if you're approaching someone and you're not sure what you want or what your standards are, what your boundaries are, then like they say, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And that's how you get hurt. So, when you put your dating profile up, right? You're going to select your app. Let's talk about that. We're going to talk about actually doing the thing. Okay. So once you've worked on yourself and you feel healed enough to get back out there, like you really looking for something, you know, let the people that are not, or just looking for temporary, meet each other. You're really looking for something. So you're not going to engage or entertain someone who's not entertaining what you want. But if you're not, this is intentional dating, right? I'm sure you've heard of it. Um, you're not going to entertain people who are not on what you're on, if you know what I mean. So you have to be very willing to take your time and to slow down and not rush it when you're trying to get back out there dating, right? You don't be jaded, be open-minded, be aware, but like go out there with the expectation that you can find what you're looking for. And if you get overwhelmed because you're not finding it, take a break. Take a break, take a month off, take a few weeks off, take a couple of months off and be in your singleness, because what you need to do is create your singleness to be beautiful. Structure your days, create a routine for yourself, and the time that you spent with that partner, you need to fill that time so that void isn't so vast, isn't so big, right? So trust me, honey, this is good. You might want to write it down. So fill your time, structure your day, and you'll be creating a beautiful life. You're manifesting. You're manifesting a new reality. You're manifesting a new life. And what you're going to do is then you spend time in your singleness again. And then when you're ready to get back out there, you do it again. So if you're starting for the first time, you're going to want to consider your profile. Um, you want to have different pictures, right? You want to show your full body in at least one of them. I think I've heard this too. And I think it's a really good idea when you show different things you're into. That's why you create a rich, fulfilling life for yourself, filling that time with doing things. Do you want to do salsa? Do you want to paint? Do you want to take singing lessons? I do. Do you want to take ice skating? That's what I do. Um, Build your business, focus on personal growth, like all of those things, but maybe a gym picture, but like not too crazy. Like I see some guys, they have like their abs out like like crazy. And I don't know, some girls probably like that, but for me, I'm just like it's a little bit narcissistic for me. Like, great, I will see your abs at some point. I can see that you have a nice body. You don't have to like totally put only your abs on display. It's a little bit cringy, as they say, for me. But I would recommend showing your best self. A lot of the guys I see out here, I'm like, where are your pictures coming from? Do you even care? Like, take good photos, have someone take it for you, or work on your angles with your phone and take your best angles, you know what I mean? Like, try is my point. There's a lot of these guys out here that just throw up anything on there, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's good to show the things that you love doing so that the other person can see if you have anything in common. Right. And then another thing is the things that you put in your profile, like the comments that you put for people. Jaded stuff. Right. Like, don't put negative stuff right in your profile, you know, like that show that, women are like some type of negative way, and you put it right in your profile there. It's just not gonna help you. I don't know what women would be interested in that, but maybe there are some, and they're probably not healed if they are. Um, what else? So you want to craft a very good profile. You want to make it engaging and honest and authentic. Show up as your authentic self. Let people see you, let people know you, because the right people will find you, or you'll find the right person. Eventually. Eventually. You have to keep trying. And, once you start engaging with someone, I have this, rule of I don't like blind dates, and it makes me feel uncomfortable when, there's not a process. So I like to keep myself safe. So here's a technique. I think I mentioned this on an episode, one of the regular episodes of Hot Topics Live podcast, but I like to start a conversation on the app, and I'm inquisitive, so I like to ask questions, but I am also noticing if the person's asking questions about me. Are they interested? I find a lot of times these guys are just not interested enough, you know? Yeah, they see a fresh woman on there or a pretty face or whatever, and they want to talk to you, but they're not interested enough. So, and that's really important because a woman needs to feel interested, and I think a guy needs to feel like you're interested too. So, we chat on the app, and then if things are going well, then I will give them my phone number and let them call me. Now, some guys offer me their number. I'm old fashioned, so I always say thank you. Here is my number. Feel free to call me or text me, and we can go from there. Usually texting. If the text conversation goes well, then one of us will discuss having a phone call. The phone call goes really well, I will always say, "Hey, how would you feel about jumping on a video call?" Because for me, that makes me feel better. I think I talked all about this already, so I won't go too far into it. But I do this to be safe. Okay, I don't know about where you live, but in Portland, they were killing women. Been a serial killer on the loose. They don't talk about it, but women have been vanishing into the woods and not coming out, right? And so, women vanish everywhere. People vanish, but women, a lot of times it's women, right? And I don't want to just meet someone I've never seen before out. And I mean, it doesn't add so much safety because you still have a level of trust there. So I always like to um, screenshot a picture of the person that I'm going out with if they haven't sent me a photo. And hi, Chris. Hi, sweetie. And if and I screenshot that information and where they're from. And I keep that on file for if we go out on a date. Or I delete it if we don't. right? If we don't make it to the date part. But I screenshot that. And so when I'm gonna go out on a date with the guy, I will advise my friends. And I think this is a smart move for men too. Advise someone where you're going, who you're going with, you know, maybe give their phone number, you know what I mean? Not for the person to call, but just be like, this is the number I have. This is the person I'm going out with. This is where we're going. You know what I mean? Just so someone knows where you are, because some women are crazy too. Okay. So you have to be safe when you're doing that, especially when meeting online, right? Ladies, the same thing, make your profile a reflection of who you are, and then look at you're screening each other. So you need to be asking questions. Do you have anything in common? Like, I want to know enough information to find out if I want to give this person my phone number. Because to me, my phone number is a sacred thing, right? I don't want everybody just having my phone number. Then I have to block them if they're weird or whatever. Like, there's only one guy that I ever had to block. And I don't know if I told this story on here. I think I did. But the guy that I talked to for the first time, and it was going so well, and then he screamed at me before even the phone call was over, and I thought, that is a abuser. Like, who screams at a woman on the first phone call that they've had? Like, it's not even covert. You know what I mean? That's like malignant. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's going to be a problem, right? And so I hope that no woman out there would accept that kind of treatment and be okay with it. So that's the only person I ever blocked, but I knew that was going to be a disaster. That's something you run from. And so that's why you have to have your standards really set and know what you will accept and never deviate from those boundaries. Keep them firm. And that's not to say that sometimes people won't slip through the cracks and you find out about it later, but that's the point. You have to always be willing to walk away, to detach. When that guy starts pulling back or that girl starts pulling back and starts acting like they're not interested, whether it's even on the app, because it happens on the app too, you just let it go. Be into the wind. I don't do the whole, unless we're cool and I'm getting to know you really, or we've established a cool relationship already. I don't really double text. Like, I like a good back and forth, unless it's like the conversations continue and I'm continuing on. But I am always gauging interest, and I know for me what signifies a level of interest that's worth my time. So it comes a lot to do with your worthiness within yourself and what you feel like you're worth and deserving of. And once you realize what that is, and it should be high, spoiler alert, it should be a lot, then you will never deviate from that. And that will help weed out a lot of people that are just trying to waste your time. Because there's a lot of time wasters out there. There's a lot of manipulators. There's a lot of people that are playing games. And you have got to know how to navigate that, especially in a digital landscape. And especially if you're a newbie, because you've just come out of a relationship that you've been in for 10, 15, 20, 25 years, and you're trying to get back out there, you know? So that's my advice for that. Make sure you have a great profile. Make sure you have internally worked on yourself. Make sure that you have set your boundaries and know what your standards are. Make sure you know what a level of interest is good for you. And here's another hint: it shouldn't be just any interest. Like, just if a guy's talking to you, that should not be enough. That's bare minimum. We don't want to do bare minimum. Okay. We don't want to do what's normal and think that that's so wonderful, right? We want to aim high, right? Aim for quality, aim for someone that's going to show up for you and treat you well. And at every step along the way, whether it's on the app, texting, phone call, video call, first date, second date, whatever relationship, if this person starts to drop their standard, and not in a way where it's like, okay, now we're in a relationship and we're a little bit comfortable, and so they're not like I don't know, taking you out every night or every time, and now you're kind of more in the Netflix and chill phase. You don't have to like be so, strict like that. But I mean, like, if this person is pulling back, because men will do that sometimes. Sometimes they'll test you, women will test you. So I'm not being gender specific. I'm just a woman. So I speak from my perspective. Um, yeah, I love men. Everybody knows that. So um you want to just be willing to recognize when someone is playing games with you, when they're not showing up in the way you want, that if someone is not giving you interest, it does not mean try harder. I had to learn that lesson. Okay? I had to learn that lesson um a long time ago. And I will tell you what, it is so true. If someone is not giving you the interest that you deserve, it does not mean try harder, because there's nothing that you can say or do or buy or give that's going to change their mind unless they want to change their mind. We are all sovereign beings. Let them walk on their path. You walk on yours. If they are for you, they'll be for you, and they'll come and they'll do whatever it takes to be with you. It's just that simple, male or female. But if someone is pulling back, they're pulling back and you feel it, because you will feel it. You take a step back. And it's hard. It is, but you have to remember when I was talking earlier about creating that rich, rewarding life of your own, put scheduling things into your day, doing things that you enjoy doing, and filling the time void that a person has left in your life with things that you enjoy that make you happy and feel fulfilled, right? That's what you go do again. And you grow and you evolve and you become a different person from where they left you. It's very simple. That's what happens when you fill your life with things that you love doing. Maybe you haven't done them. I didn't ice skate in, like, I won't even tell you how many years, but I'll just say from the time I was about 18 years old, I didn't ice skate and I went back to it, and I'm still wobbly, but I'm getting better and I love it. And it's just something that I go do when I have free time and I'm by myself. So the things that I love to do on my own, when I'm not with my friends, I spend time with my friends, with my kids, I on my business, I'm always on personal growth, I'm coaching, all the things that I love to do. I spend that time in my singleness doing those things. Because when you become part of a team, you will need to make compromises or small sacrifices for that other person. So maybe I won't get to ice skate all the time, you know, because they want to do something with me and they don't ice skate. So that's a small sacrifice that I will make. I'll still ice skate, I'll still fit it in, but it won't be as much, right? So that's what you do when you're in your singleness and you're creating that rich, rewarding, fulfilling life for you. And then you get back out there and you start dating and looking for a teammate, you know? That's right, Chris, dating yourself, doing that for myself again. Oh, I love that for you. Ah, yes, I go out, try restaurants. I remember the first time I went anywhere by myself. I had the most amazing time. I flew to Los Angeles and I went to this event where this actor Jay Lee was doing a piano concert. It was like his first one in all of these years, I think, since he was a kid. I'd been watching him practice during the pandemic, and and then I flew down there and no one could go with me. And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to go by myself. Oh my god, I had the best time that weekend. I met all of these people. I actually met a guy I dated that weekend, who I probably wouldn't have met, but I met this girl because I was talking to I sat next to her and I met this girl and she took me to meet these people and he was there. And I ended up dating him for a while. We talked for like 6 months and we dated for a little while more. And then because he's in LA and I'm here. But if it wasn't for the distance, I tell you. But it was fun, you know what I mean? And I would have never had that experience if I had been with someone, like even a friend, to go with me. So because I would have been absorbed in what hanging with my friend. I wouldn't have met new people, is my point. So yeah, oh my gosh, I love the candlelight concert too. The candlelight concert is so fun. I just went to one. I didn't go by myself. I went with my friend for her birthday, and it was so much fun. I love a girl date too, and I love a male guy friend date too. So, you can fill your time up with amazing and beautiful things. You don't have to miss anything just because you're single. That's just a big myth that we are just crushing here today. Like, being your singleness and enjoy it. And when you're ready to meet someone, make sure your profile's good. Make sure you've got everything. You've got good pictures up there that reflect like your interests in your life that are different. And guys, I always see like this is like going back in time. It's like a chronological record of pictures once you get to my age. And I'm like, it's great for me to see what you looked like when you were 20, but I want to see more pictures of what you look like now, because that's what I'm going to be dating. I'm not going to be dating 20-year-old you. So yeah. And then also, having your profile tight and interesting or funny. I love the guys who are funny. Or I met a guy who was an artist, and he put some of his artwork. Lots of guys play their music. I love that. I'd love to date a guy in a band, actually, especially this summer. Oh, very nice. I wish I could go. That sounds like so much fun, a private rock concert. Chris, you are living your best life. Mhm. Yeah, authenticity. That's a good point. Um, Showing up as your authentic self, because I think a lot of times people don't. And I just posted something about this. I forget the name of the guy, but it was one of the realest things I ever saw on Instagram today. And he was talking about how there's so many fake people, and it's really hard to make deep, meaningful connections. And in a world where there's so many people that are fake. And I would go further, is to maybe not say fake, because but there are, but like I would say wounded and broken and damaged and unaware of their own um healing that they need, which is why I started at the beginning talking about how you should be healed enough to date, because that's crucial. That is the thing I think that I've seen the most in talking to the men that I've seen. Many, many, many of them have a lot of really good qualities. But when you start to realize and recognize the damage, the unhealed wounds, and this is why it's so important to learn this stuff, guys. Like, get a coach. I always say, get a coach. If you don't know, get a coach. And you're right. It's so easy to wear a mask on social media and on the dating apps. People do show up as fake, they don't show up as themselves. And even when you're talking to them, and people are using people for something, whether it's their body or just entertainment for a night via text, or it's weird, and you're not going to be used to it because it's not what you've been doing. And maybe you've never even online been dating online, right? But don't give up. You can find a good person out there. I know you can, because I'm out there and I like to think I'm a good person. And lots of people who will tune into Hot Topics Live podcast will be good people. And all of that just makes me so happy, because if I know I exist, then I know that there's so many other people who exist, and Chris exists, and George exists, and like all of these people that I know, and lots of people that love Hot Topics Live. And I get all the comments that are coming in. Thank you for those. They exist. So I know you can find good people out there. You just have to keep looking. You just make your profile tight and then start talking to people. You've got to break the ice. I say hi, and that works for me. I don't know what will work for you. Maybe you'll have an opening line or something that you do when you want to say hi to someone, but I think simple is better. So if I put a like on a guy's something on his profile and he reaches back out to me, I will always, he matches me or something. I won't, whatever they do, it's different on every app. I will say hi. And from there, I'll let him take the lead, because I'm an old fashioned girl and I like when guys take the lead. But I will definitely have that conversation with him and see if we can get it to a date. Now, a lot of times we can't, unfortunately, because I have high standards and you should too. So Like I said, you've got to have your boundaries. You've got to trust your gut. You've got to be willing to walk away and detach at any moment, even months or years into the connection, you know. But if you meet someone and you've both been working on your healing, chances are you'll have the tools to make a relationship work. And it can be a beautiful thing. Like I said, we all deserve and need love and companionship. And love with a partner in a romantic sense is one of the most beautiful things that we have in this life. So don't give up on it, okay? Use these tools and let them help you. Thank you for watching. I will be back next week with another episode. This one went long again, but I stayed a little late because one of my favorite people turned up. And I hope you enjoyed this. Leave comments. You can follow me on TikTok at Hot Topics Live Podcast. You can also follow me on Instagram. And if you want to follow my pinup journey, you can follow it on Instagram. That's me, Kia. And that's my second cover. I'm so proud of it. So you can follow me on Instagram and follow my pinup journey. I'm just getting started. There's a lot of behind the scenes and images and stuff like that. Pretty classy, sexy pictures. If you're looking for something else, that's just not who I am. But I hope you enjoy it. Nonetheless, you can find links to the magazines on my bio on Instagram too. And the regular episodes of Hot Topics Live will be on again next week or in 2 weeks. And I'll be back with this episode 7 next week. I think I'm doing 10. And then I've thought of a new series that I'm going to do after this. And I think it's going to be for the fellas. So stay tuned. And ladies, if you have not seen the perimenopause episode from yesterday, you need to run and go watch that. Don't forget to set your notifications, like, share, comment, subscribe. This channel's growing slowly, but it's growing. So I appreciate you. I love you guys, and I will see you next time.